Hello. Can you hear and see me clearly? I'm using my friend's desktop. So I've never used this for streaming before. But the housemate isn't here, so I can be out here streaming. Which is good because it means this should work and not play up. Yeah, say hi in the comments if it's working, and we might just jump pretty much straight into it. So we're not here too long. As long as it's working, let me know. I'm glad that you're excited. Hi, hi. Just waiting for someone to confirm that they can hear and see me. Well, Tracy can see the tears, so that's good. Can you see and hear me? And then we can jump into it. Yeah, I'm glad you like the tears. Okay, cool. Let's go into it then. So yeah, I probably don't need to explain these, but this is like 5 stars, which is obviously better than Post Malone, because you've got to be pretty good to be better than Post Malone. I frothed it. It's like really good. Twas good is twas good. What the fuck was that? So that's like a 1 or 2 star. I just combine them because there's not a huge amount, because I just DNF before I get to that point usually. So DNF because I ran out of time. I was trying to focus on different authors and stuff, and then DNF because I love myself, which means it was really bad. It was shit. Okay, so let's just jump in. I won't go talk too much because this doesn't feel like all the books. Like, this doesn't look like 100. I'm worried that it's missing some, but I think that's everything. So sorry if I am missing some books. Like, is that 100 books? Just doesn't look like it to me. I have to remember to keep checking back for comments in a different tab. So I'm just going to click random ones because they're kind of in a bit of an order. So I'm going to make it not like everything that's really bad is left to the end kind of thing. One second. How do I stop the Facebook? Can I close the whole thing? Okay, thanks. It's just going to annoy me. You can't hear it, but I can. Oh, it's not in the headphones? Oh, you guys could probably hear it too then. Okay, well, I've stopped that. Okay, we're gonna start with, I close my eyes. That one off the screen. Let's start here because this is one of the first books I read, which was oh no, that's not the Frost K I'm thinking of. I'm like so confused. Her covers all looks similar. Here, this one. Well, so we'll start with this series by Frost K. A lot of them are kind of, what the fuck was that? I think this one was okay. This one was very, what the fuck was that? Very dark. I don't get what was happening on with the like love triangle in that one. I remember I read the last book before the second last book because I was so confused for so much of the book, and then it ended and it was like the series end. I was like, so I think I read this one, ended up reading this one last, but this is the second last. I think that was a bit like that. And then where's the last one? This one. So yeah, I read this one. I thought this was the second last book, but it was the last. I think that one was more there. I'd already read book 1 before Babe, so I don't really count it for something I read for Babe because I'd already read it. So yeah, was pretty mid. just the middle got really weird. And it was one of those series where it's like how they measure a good guy is, well, he's not, one of those men that's like assaulting women, so he must be really good. It's like, let's grab this. This was good. Probably like my least favorite thing I've read by Stephanie Holmes, just because it was one of those things where it was like, she like had a romance with these like ghosts she knew as a kid. So I was just a bit like, I'm not really a fan of that. You may as well jump into another Stephanie Holmes. I frothed this one. It was very, very cute. Not quite better than Post Malone, but it was pretty good. Let's grab this. I'm trying to remember these books all have like very generic covers and titles. Off camera. Okay, so I think both of these were better than Post Malone. Loved these two. And then there's one that I DNF'd. This one, yeah. Because I wasn't liking it as much, and I wanted to move on to some different authors. So, but these two were 5 stars. I loved them. They were very cute. This one's like best friends to lovers kind of thing. She watches his games. He's like the coach of the football team, and there's like a kiss cam, and she's on a date, and the guy doesn't want to kiss her, and the camera keeps going back to her, being like rejected. Which I'm like, I don't know if that's super realistic, but anyway. But then he goes and kisses her, and it's like very adorable. And then this one is like they're rivals of the football team's like social media pages, and they have like a rivalry, and then they meet and they like really hit it off, and they don't realize who the other is. And then when they realize, they're like, oh shit. So I like it because it's not like someone knows and they don't tell them. They didn't know and they realize at the same time. So yeah, I love those two. Let's go. I don't know. Let's go with the Seth Haddon. I'm gonna go Twas Good. I definitely would need to read this physically. I think I was a bit confused. But I really liked like what I did kind of follow. Like I really liked the romance, but the plot I struggled with a bit. I think one of those couples is a side character in Hockey Romance. I'm reading from her, the nanny/single dad one. Yeah, that's the one I DNF'd. I liked it. I just didn't like it like a huge amount. I was like, I'm not going to buy this from her, so I'll just, it was sort of near the end when I'm trying to rush for pre-orders. I pre-ordered all her hockey books though, because I'm stupid. I don't know. I was like, even if I don't really like these, they look like they might get popular, so I think it's a good investment. Whereas some of her older stuff, maybe not so much. Let's do this one that we all read together. I frothed it. I really liked it. This is sort of like 4-star. It was really cute. Much more wholesome than I thought it was going to be with how it started. Sort of like awful start, but then she gets like a second chance. And it was very wholesome after that. This, I can barely remember. Was very short. I was trying to find babe authors that had Christmas books. I found this. It was like fine. I think it was like really short, and she like went. She like it was kind of reminding me of like Farmer Wants a Wife. It was like a city girl that like got with a farmer. I think they were married, and she was like super lonely at Christmas, and it was kind of her like getting off her ass and getting out on the farm kind of thing. Was that the Omega one with the abusive pack? Yeah. Very cute. I got the cozy one, the Cozy Verse one by that author. I would have loved to have gotten these, but just money. Just money. Let's grab this. This will this one's really hard. It's like probably gonna be here, but there's some elements of it that are definitely here, if not here, because the character, like the main character, it's like I didn't like the main character a lot. they were kind of annoying. They were very negative about themselves, but at the start it was really good. I related, but then it just was like we're near the end of the book and they're still just like so negative and like it just kind of got pathetic. It was like, oh my gosh, like we need some character development already because it's like driving me mad. But I really liked all of the discussion about their gender identity. Like they already knew that they were non-binary, and just the way that that was explored in a fantasy was really cool. So there's some elements that were so good. Might just do the rest of that series now. Did anybody else end up reading it? Is this the Crowns of Oakgrove? Oh no, this one. Yeah, I never read the next one, so I do want to read it. I was just to show my laptop because my eyes are too keys moving with this. Yeah, it's very small. So go back to the start. This one was good. It's pretty generic. One of the weaker ones. I'm really on the fence with this one as well. I think it's going to be in here. But there were some elements that I did really like. I think the weakest is the first one for me. So if you didn't really love the first one, to me, it does get better. Where are the others? Here. Well, this was very good. This is the sapphic one. It was very, very angsty, like super angsty, which I loved. Very like kind of we can't be together, but we want to. And this one was better than Post Malone. I loved this book. I was so shocked. I was not expecting, like, you know, the first few had not been great. Then I had a really high one and then sort of went back down a bit. But this was like, I think also it's notable that this was shorter than the rest. And I think that really was its strength. It just kind of got on with it. Also, I think my favorite thing about this book is that it talked about how she had really bad periods, which I think was really cool because you just never see that in books, especially in a fantasy. And it was a big part of how she felt she couldn't be a ruler. Like she's like, I don't know how I'm going to be a ruler if I don't remember. I think the Fae don't have their periods every month. I think it's like every 3 months. But anyway, she's like, if you know, every now and then I'm going to be like at the point where I'm like having such bad cramps, I can't function. I thought that was really interesting because you just don't see that a lot. And she was very flawed. She was like a bit of a bitch. It's one of those books where I'm like, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't like this, but I just really liked it. And it was like a second chance romance, so they knew that they were mates already and they had been like sweethearts, and then he betrayed her with something. It was just so angsty, and so much of it was just him being like, you're allowed to be vulnerable, I won't do, like, I'm I'm always here to look after you and protect you, like, I'm not gonna like betray you again, like, you need to learn to trust it. It was just so good. So yeah, this was the highlight, the last book. But I really loved this one too. They were both very good. These just like, okay. But yeah, did anybody else end up reading that series? Because I just stopped posting about it because no one else was posting and I looked like a dickhead. So. Let's get a bad book. Now I feel really bad. Okay. This was very triggering for me. It was a lot of sexual violence. So I loved myself the day that I DNF'd that because it was not good for me. Let's do Sasha's fave. I'm gonna put it in. I feel like I did rate it like a 3, but I don't know, like maybe technically it's more here, but emotionally, like when I look back on it, it's I froth because I really did. It was just too long for me. Fell off on the High Mountain Court books. I wanted to read them, but I got slumpy after the first. Oh, I forgot about the novellas. I'll do those. Yeah, they're like not the best, to be honest. As I said, like I had some highlights. Like the novellas were not very good. Like I can't even remember half of them. This one was like like I want to put it here, but that seems too mean. But it was like was not great. This one was also not great. Like just okay. This is the only one I really liked because it's about the chickeness. So oh, this is another book in that series. God, maybe these are the two I mixed up. Goodness. Okay, well I'm just gonna put that there. I completely forgot how many books there were. This novella, this one was okay, actually. That one was pretty good. I forgot about that one. Do I have the first one here? Oh my gosh, there's too many books staring at me. I can't find the first novella. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so, meh. This was good. The writing was like pretty weak, but there was some cool like different elements in it. Like there was like an older person that was like her guardian, and she had a romance with like another older guy, and it was really cute. They were like really smitten, and they went on a holiday. So that random side couple pulled through for me. Um, let's do this one. Probably was good. It's almost here, but just not quite. I really liked the start, but then I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I like these books for vibes because they're just like smutty and a good time, but I don't know. It didn't quite do anything huge for me. This one was also just like twas good. I can barely remember it to be honest. It was like cute. This was good. Um, kind of boring in parts, but like not too bad. I can barely remember. It was like pretty generic. I'd read like a lot of these sort of books at this point, and I was like, I just don't care. This one was like okay. I really wanted to like this author's books because the covers are so pretty. I kind of want to put it here actually. I feel like the writing was like pretty bad, but I feel like people like her books and now I feel bad. Just from memory, I'm like, I feel like the writing was like not great because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this author's books and they're so pretty, but yeah, I feel bad putting it there. What the fuck was that? Just seems too mean. I think I'll put it back there. I feel too mean. Okay. This. I think I'm gonna put this here. I love the covers of this books. I love this author's style, but there were like it's like about this girl that just goes up and kisses this guy, and they make jokes about how it's like that's sexual assault, and it's just like they laugh it off. I'm like, ew. I did finish it because I just was like, I really like these covers, and I finished it, and I was like, no, I just should have DNF'd. Yeah, probably, but it's fine. Yeah, I feel like that's the twas good. It's just I feel like because there's so much in there, I just feel confused. It's like sometimes they're not as good. So yeah, but then like even two feels savage. But as usual, I'm very like I'm really reluctant to give below a three. Books pretty much have to be kind of really bad to get below a three. Like they have to do something that I don't like. I guess so. Three's kind of always a bit weird for me. I just feel bad rating too low. Um, Also, I've kept books on here from authors that aren't coming anymore. So, like, Frost K is not coming anymore. I think everyone else on here is still coming. But, yeah, she's not coming anymore. But I thought I still read them for the event, so. Um, Trisha O'Malley's not coming anymore, which makes me very sad. I think this one was really cute because they have I think it's like a puffin. Yeah, they have like a two little puffins that they save and it's really cute. This one was not as good. This one was just okay. They were very similar. Like they're both Highland Christmas books with a similar kind of romance. Um, this one, I frothed it, super cute. Uh, I do like Not My Type better. That was just a bit better. I really, really liked that one. Not much to say. Like, I read this ages ago now. Um, I don't know. I just feel like I learned a lot, like about so many different things, and it was just cute. I remember it was one where like I liked how upfront and honest the characters were because it meant we got to like focus on some different stuff rather than just like miscommunication. Because they definitely could have had a lot, but they didn't because they both communicated well. So, but it's like Evie Mitchell still knew how to make it interesting. Because sometimes when they communicate really well, it can be boring, which I feel like Chelsea Koto's books would be boring to a lot of people, but for some reason it works for me. But like while I read it, I'm like, I feel like this is like actually boring, but I really like it. Let's do Everly Frost. Who's is this Everly Frost? Who's this again? Oh my gosh, who wrote this book? I can't remember. I feel like that's Everly Frost. Found out the reason Emily Rath cancelled was she was selling her house in Florida and moving. She just closed on the Florida house. Emily Rath. Have I read from Emily Rath? Oh, yeah. They're one of the big ones. Well, as I said, like I feel like none of us are like annoyed at people dropping out. It was just like how it wasn't like communicated very well, and I don't like that it was put on the authors. I feel like that's I don't know. I don't feel like authors should have to like do that because then they're going to face scrutiny and questions, and I feel like it's the event organizers that should. I don't know, but I'm sure they all have legit reasons, and I'm not like mad. And honestly, there's still so many that I've ended up really liking and stuff. So I'm like, God, imagine if Sarah Kate was still going or something, or Cleo, is it Cleo Evans? Is that author? Yeah, imagine Cleo Evans was still going. Like, ooh, my money. So yeah. Who was I doing? I was doing it. Everly Frost. Okay. This one was a DNF. Like, I was running out of time, but I won't go back to that. So yeah, it's just like okay. I feel like her books are alright, but it's like they're very similar. So once I'd read a few, it was like I've read them all kind of thing. But that might just be me. These ones were a bit better. I quite liked these ones. These were definitely the highlight for me. They'll probably be Twas good. I thought I read 3, but I must have only read 2. I think this is Everly Frost. This was like really cliche and bad. I had a really bad time. It was like Best Friends Lovers, but it was like bad. It was like so boring. There was like no build up, and the very. I'm finding like so many of these authors that I read from write like the same cliche, bland female main character that's like really good at everything and really nice and very always sacrifices and brave, and they just like have no personality. I definitely don't enjoy that. I think it's because it's written like a self insert, which is fine. It's just not what I personally like. I like reading about bitches apparently, so I either like bitches or just like soft cutie cinnamon rolls. But yeah, I think that's all the Everly Frost I read. It was just like okay. I never went through all the Frost K. Well, these ones were just like fine from memory. I feel like one of them, I like by the end it was kind of bad, but I'll just put it there. I read those a while ago now. They were just like, ugh. I think if I'd read these later, I would have liked them less, having read so many books like this now. But I hadn't read as many then, so it wasn't as like. Ugh. Let's do Alicia Williams. I haven't read an Alicia Williams in a while. She was an author that I read near the start, and it was a what the fuck was that, but I was here for it apparently. Uh, and then there's one I DNF'd. Yeah, I DNF'd that one more recently. I was like, the cover's so cool, but I was like, no. I don't know. They're like by choosers, but they're so like soap opera, and it's like plot twist with this person's mates with this person and this person, and they're just everyone's like together but in these different ways. So it's like really, it's kind of like entertaining, but it's also I don't know. If you like it, it's alright. It's just for me, I was like, this is rotting my brain, but I'm here for it. I like this one not so much, but this one was like very chaotic, and I had a good laugh, and I did want to keep reading, and I probably will continue it later. But I was like, I'm not going to buy these, so I should focus on something I'll actually like support the author for. But you know, they're kind of like, I can't turn away. These are just so ridiculous. I didn't talk about this A.K. Moffat. I actually DNF'd this one. Like, it's a mix of these. But I'm going to go here because I just didn't care. I found it really boring, to be honest. I really liked the main character, but the romance was so boring. I just couldn't care less. And I felt like it was very focused on the romance, whereas these ones were more plot heavy, I feel like. So if you weren't like vibing the romance, there was still stuff to explore. Whereas this was like, the only thing I've got going for me is the character. And it just wasn't quite enough. Also, having read this one, which was going through the character, was sort of, this was like a more confident version, but a lot of the stuff I really enjoyed about this was sort of rehashed in this. And I think having just read this one recently, I probably needed a bit of a break. So I'm going to put it here because I don't think I'll go back to it. I've just got too many books to read, you know. But like, yeah, I need a drink. Oh, this actually could have reached. Sorry, I thought it was shorter. Thank you. Okay. Let's do Layla Pine. I frothed this. I really liked it, mainly just because of the tennis elements. The murder mystery was really good. I actually didn't guess who it was. And I actually really liked the romance. It was really like good. It was really slow burn. And it actually felt kind of like enemies to lovers. And the girl was kind of a bitch, and I love tennis. So honestly, just so much of the tennis stuff was so fun. This one I really liked as well. It's probably just going to go into was good. The plot of this one was so chaotic. I really liked the plot, and I loved the main character. The guy was just like, okay. I feel like it was kind of a bit too quick for me, but I still really liked parts of it. I really like Layla Pine's books. I really wish that she had more audiobooks, because this only recently just came out as an audiobook, so I like snatched that up. She's an author I might buy something from on the day, depending how much my luggage ends up being on the way there and everything. But maybe. I'm going there first to get Tracy's book, so hopefully at the start of the day I'll be feeling more anxious and I won't grab anything. We'll go here next. I'm gonna put it here, not because it was like bad. I just found it really, like, I don't think, oh my god, this was so bad, but it was really boring. Like, I don't know. And then I just like DNF'd the second one because I just didn't care. There's just something about the way it was written. It was really boring, which makes me so sad because the author seems lovely and their books are so pretty, and they have so many pretty books at Babe. But Erin, did you see our messages in the group chat about the meetup and transportation and us helping get you there? It's worth checking out if you wanted to have a look, but otherwise, don't worry about it. I just thought maybe if you had notifications turned off. We were just chatting about helping you get to the meetup. No, that's okay. I'm just letting you know that if you want to have a look, it's there. Yes, hi there. This might be really boring, but I hope you have fun still. Okay. I've been talking a lot. My brain's kind of. Let's do Katerina Moira. I did look up how to say it, and I can't remember. This author pulled out. I made a lot of jokes like, "Oh, I want to go meet this really hot author." So it's probably good that they are not coming anymore because I was being a bit of a creep. I thought I read 3 books by then, but I must have only read 2. This was kind of what the fuck. I think I liked it more at the time, but like looking back, it was kind of stupid. Like the big sister in this was so awful. I just couldn't deal. I was like, this woman is clearly like crazy, like horrible, has like probably a personality disorder. I don't know why you're giving her the time of day. Like she needs help, to be honest. This one was better. Was good. Then we go to this author that I read like 3 things from, and they also are not coming anymore. I really liked the first one in this. The sequel was less good, but it was still good. Sorry, that's meant to go there. This one was like not as good, but I really liked the mystery in the first one because she kind of like they found her in this forest, which is like really dangerous, and most people can't survive in it. And she'd been living there for years, and she didn't really remember how she got there. So I found that really interesting. But then we already knew why by this book, and it was just like not as good. And then I read this by her, which was good. It's like about this really immature chick, so I related. I mean, she like dressed up as like a princess, which I don't do that. So I was like, okay, I'm not on this level, but I am very immature. I'm just talking about baby books. This probably won't be helpful for you because I feel like we don't really share a lot of the same opinions, but it might give you some idea. I might be able to point out some books you might like. I just feel like romance is just not your thing, so I'm trying to like think of ones that are more fantasy. So probably sort of more this, and like maybe this author. I didn't finish this, but maybe. And then these, but we've already like recommended these. Anyway, okay. Is there anyone people want me to get to that they're going to get to soon? Let's go Lauren Jackson. I'm tossing up. I think I'll put it there. Nah, I don't think I'm going to go back to it. I was reading it for A Romantic Affair. I actually didn't realize this author was coming until she said she couldn't make it. I don't know. It's like okay, but I'm not really enjoying it. So it's just like, why bother? This was good. I didn't mind this one. This one was no. I didn't read much of this. As soon as I basically saw who the love interest was, and I got like I think 2 of that character's chapters in, I was like, this is not for me. So no, it wasn't good. I don't like super dark stuff, which a lot of this stuff is very dark. So I managed to still find a lot of stuff to read, which is good. Oh my gosh. I thought this was that book. What's this book? Oh, that still goes here. I forgot I read this one. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I really didn't like this. I actually thought I DNF'd it. I don't remember if I DNF'd this or not. I don't think I did, but I was not. I can't even really remember why. I feel like I just feel like from memory the main guy was a bit of a dick. Apparently it's fine when the women are awful, but the men are not allowed to be awful, apparently. I don't know the percentage. When we finish, I can go over it. But what I've gone through now, this author isn't going, so no. This author's not going. And this author's not going, so that includes that. So yeah, this author's not going, not going, not going, not going, not going. No, no, and no. So yeah, I know at the start a lot of what I'd read, are not coming. And just looking at what I've got left, a lot of them are not coming anymore. What happened? Okay. Where's the one where you say this one? What happened? I missed that. I've been very stressed getting ready for the meetup. But everything's pretty much done now, so that's really good. Pays to be organized. We'll do Heather Renee next. Didn't really have a great time with Heather Renee. I've put that DNF. I was like, this is boring. And I kept like not paying attention and kept having to go back, and then I was like, there's no point, I should just stop reading it. I read 2 of these, and honestly, I shouldn't have. I'm gonna put them there. They were just like not great, and so were these. These were like I've probably given them a 3-star, but just in terms of like this, like I do feel like they're not quite up here. This was the one that I was joke about. I think it was this one where it's like, because it's like a chick having a romance with like 6 guys or something, but they weren't written as like fleshed out people. So it's like, this is the one that likes skydiving. Like that was his defining quality. Because there was literally one, it's like, I'm the guy that likes skydiving. And I was like, I cannot. Otherwise, like they weren't too bad, but I was just like, I'm not here for this. Like, if I'm reading a book where there's multiple people having romance, I want them all to matter. I want them to all be unique people. And that was just not the case with those books. And I was like, I'm not having a great time. I went to type out a more detailed explanation of why I'm doing prep, and then I realized I probably didn't want to share that in the public stream. Yeah. I was gonna say like it'd be different on like a Patreon one because it's unlisted, but this is public. I can make like a private chat in the Discord if you would like to chat. Yeah, let me know if you want me to make like a separate private one. I mean, you're also a mod, so you can just make one yourself. Please feel free to do that. Let's go. Let's do this terrible author next, shall we? This is probably the most confused I've ever been by an author. So go in the order that I read them. Also, I was flying through these because they were just so bad and such quick reads. And then the reason that I stopped was I was like, I feel like I would like to actually do a video because it's like this big family tree, like this community and how they're all connected. They're all like interconnected through so many books, and it's so dramatic. It's like this person, you know, they thought this person had died, but they actually aren't dead. They're this person that we thought this person was, and they've had a kid with this person who's their cousin, but they didn't realize, like, so bad. So I was like, I need to like read these in more detail, do a video. And then I was like, no. When I started reading them, I was like, no, these are terrible. I'm not doing that. And then the author's not coming anymore. So So this one actually started out. This was like good. When I read this one, I was like, this is really good. I really liked it. I was a bit confused, but it went downhill after that. So downhill. I think I read this next. This was what the fuck on so many levels. This was what the fuck on so many levels. Actually, no, this one was like not as bad, but it definitely wasn't good. So, this one was. I from memory, this one was not too bad either, but I'm still gonna put it here. Just not good. Just felt like it was written by a teenager. You know, I was like, why are we doing all of these stupid plot twists? um, and like the girls were all like dark and mysterious, and their friends' boyfriends just had to cheat on their girlfriends with these girls. Because I feel like I read Mama was like she just cheated on her best friend's like husband. Like she just slept with him, and she felt so bad, so she's like, "Oh, I have to leave, and I'm gonna go live in this like random community in the middle of nowhere." I was like, "I don't feel sorry for you. What are you doing?" And she's like, "I just like it's like a power within me that men just can't resist me or something." I was like, anyway. So that's probably like the weirdest stuff that I read, but that author's not coming anymore. So it's probably a good thing because I would have been like, I would have just been like, "Are you okay?" No. This was okay. This was another why I choose, but I felt like the characters were more fleshed out, and it had a lot of elements of like caring for the people that you love, which was really good. It was like a very caregiving kind of thing. It was like a alien one, alien romance. So yeah, but this author's not coming anymore, so big sad. She had a Why I Choose Monster one that I really wanted to read as well. So anyway, all good. This one was good. It was just like okay. It was kind of that like generic um writing that's very what's the word like I can't think of the word, but there's not much detail and it's very just like whimsical and like I can't think of the word, but yeah. DNF this one. It's just too long and boring. I was not having a good time. I actually don't want to say what I gave these if Sasha's still here because of a video Sasha's doing. So I don't think I'll actually say what I rated that. This was okay. I think I've heard some bad stuff about this author, so I don't know, but the book itself was like it was okay. It had like a really sad kind of element. It felt like a lot of the kind of books I used to read when I was in like high school. Like it felt more kind of like general fiction with the romance kind of thing for like older, mature women, and I'm like reading them when I'm like 13. um, these were they were good. I think maybe the first one's more for at the time, but like, I barely remember it. It's that one. So like, yeah. I'm gonna put this here because I hate horse racing. So I don't know. It was like the chick's like, I care about the horses. I'm here to look after them. It's like you're still enabling a system that abuses horses. So I don't know. It's just ick. It was like the author was trying to justify it, and I was like, I'm not here for it. So that's not good. I read 3 of these. Why is there only 2 here? Or am I like missing it? No, I'm missing one of these. I did read 3 of these. Um, the first one's not here, right? I actually think I might have DNF'd the first one anyway. This was pretty shit, to be honest. It was like, isn't that the one where they kept joking about that they're like brother and sister or something? I don't know. This one was like really good though. In hindsight, maybe it's not, but at the time I really liked it. So I thought it was really cute. I really liked the main chick, and I really liked the main guy, and he was a bit older, so you know, I'm a sucker for that. Except when it comes to this book. Good segue, no. But then pretty much everything else by Sarah Kate is better than Post Malone. The first one's not here because I read that before, Babe. This one was just like good. This one wasn't as good, but these all are like very good. Do love very much. This was another where I choose. It was okay. It had some interesting, kind of fun elements. It was like I think it was like a talking key, which was really fun. This is another way I choose that was like okay. Like these are ones where I felt like the characters were like distinct people, whereas like these ones they were not. They were not done well. This was a DNF because it felt like something I wrote when I was 12. I feel really mean. I was like, this is something. I DNF'd this because of time. Even though it's like really short, I just was like, I'm not loving this. I'm not going to buy it, so I'll just stop. But it was like a very quick book. I probably should have finished it, but I was stressing a lot at that time. This one was good. It was one of the first books I read. I really liked it. It was like a Hades and Persephone, and I really liked that it talked about how Hades needed Persephone because he was just like he'd been helping the dead to the afterlife for so long. He just didn't give a shit anymore, and he wasn't very good at like helping the souls pass on. So he was having trouble with that. So she could like see the souls as well, but she was like new to it, so she actually gave a shit. So he was like, I need you to help me because I just like had gone numb to death basically and caring about other people. Which is like, yeah, when you do that for eternity, it probably does get a bit much. I'm gonna put this here because I didn't I didn't DNF this one. No, it's a different one. This was just like okay. I don't want to put it there. I feel like that's harsh. I'll put it there. It was just kind of boring. I don't know. Her books just don't. I don't think they're good as an audiobook. If I put, yeah, this is the one I DNF'd. I will go back to it at some point though. This book's interesting. Has anybody read this book? Because, so I read this book and I was like, it reminds me of this manga that I've read that I really like. And I was like, it's actually like really similar, but that's like all I thought about it. And there were a few plot points where I was like, oh, it's so like this. And then when I went to like rate it and everything, there's so many accusations of plagiarism because of that manga. So I was like, oh, it's like that bad. And then I was like, yeah, it kind of was like really similar. Like I was picking up on it and I'd never seen these accusations. So has anyone read this or heard about that? But I was like, oh my gosh. It was just like, it was like, okay. It wasn't something that I was going to go and buy or anything. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. Crazy. Need a drink again. This was good. I have DNF'd Sword and Steel and Shield or whatever it's called, her really popular book. Haven't got it here. It would be in here. It was like not terrible, but it was, you know, kind of mid. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to buy this. So I have got my friend's copy to get signed for her though. So I've still got to go to that author. I actually got 2 books from my friend to get signed, but she's like, don't prioritize that. Whereas she's pre-ordered this book, so I need to pick this up for her. I didn't have this because of time. I was just like not loving it, so I was like, I'll just. This was when the pre-orders were active, so I was kind of just having to drop things that I wasn't loving because I'm like, I'm not gonna buy it, so I need to just move on to something else. And then sometimes I was like, I'm loving this, and now I'm gonna buy it and pre-order it, so I'll drop it and go on to something else, and then I'd go back to those books. But these were the ones that I didn't like as much, so I didn't end up going back. But I will at some point. The other Chelsea Curtos, I frothed this. Didn't quite get as good as these 2, but it was very good. I did really, really like it. It's super cute. This one is also very cute. I just didn't quite like it as much, but like the guy's declaration of love, which is something I really like about her books. The men's declarations of love are just, I'm like, no man actually talks like this. I wish, but I was just like, it's so sweet. So I think that's something I really like about her books. This one, I frothed it. Was really good. Very sad. Cleo is not coming anymore, but we heard about that like ages ago. So it's all good. It is what it is. Philomena, which I read recently, it was good. Some ups and downs, but it was really fun reading it with Tracy. Tracy was the only other person that read it. But thanks for reading it with me, Tracy. I'm glad I didn't read it by myself. And it was really good. I really liked reading it in those little sections because I think if I didn't, I would have really struggled with the length. But because it was only a little bit each day, I never felt like I was reading a really long book and like pushing through. So let's get all of these out of the way. I cannot really remember which is which because I read these basically back to back and I don't remember them. I remember the first one was like, no, I think the first one was like here. And then I feel like the rest are pretty much all here. I think this one was a 5. This is the one with the cat. Yeah, I think I really liked that one. I really enjoyed that one. The rest were really good. I really liked this series. The first one was like my least favorite. Yeah, it was really fun. We could hate on the Cthulhu dude together. I can't remember who. We could hate on who together. I don't think I forgave him, to be honest. I was like, no. The rest, yes. But who? Like, as in, who's that? No. You know? That was really bad. The Little Morsel, I feel weird saying I frothed a children's book. It feels weird, but it was very cute. It was adorable. I was a little bit confused because there's a time jump at the end, but it doesn't say there's a time jump, and the way that it starts, it's as if it connects with where we just read, and I'm still like confused as to whether it started as a time jump or it became a time jump as that chapter went on. It's very confusing. The third one has been my favorite spot. How many of you read? I read up to where I had access to the audiobooks, but more have come out. I think they weren't available for Australians, but now they are. Because I think I read this one a bit later because this one then came out. Because I think that they only had up to here. Because I read these a little while ago now. And then this one came out. And I've looked and there's since like, I'm pretty sure they're all out on audiobook. I actually haven't read the 0.5 because there was no audio, but I think there is now. That's the Christmas one, right? Yeah, I haven't read that one. Yeah, they're just fun. Like, they're kind of silly, but it just works. And I really like the main character. I think she's just so real. And her experience with losing her sight throughout this series is so cool because it's just kind of like, it's not who she is. It's not vital to her, but it's still written in a way where we see how it does affect what she does, but she's still able to do all these cool things, and the way that, you know, well, I won't say that because she might not got upset with it, but just like, you know, it's like this thing that's going to keep progressing throughout the series. I feel like every book kind of has moments where you really pay attention to that because it is really pivotal to who she is, but it's not everything. So I really, really like that. And I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like I read somewhere or heard somewhere that the author has the same condition, which is maybe why it's written so well. But don't quote me because I don't know. Yeah, cute. I should go and read that. But yeah, there's now like all of them out on audio. I'm so excited. I'm like, I wish they were all out then because I would have binged them all. I was like on a massive binge. They're just so cozy. You know what? They kind of remind me of Ice Pine Barbarians in that there's just such easy, fun reads. Like you don't really have to pay attention, kind of thing, and it's just well, you pay attention because you're reading it still, but like I don't know, it's just really fun, and you just know what you're getting into, I guess. Um, this was a DNF. It like wasn't terrible, but I don't think I'll go back to it. It was just a case of bland, generic main character, and I was just like, didn't care, wasn't here for it. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I could be mixing it up with something else, and I like my memory of this is before I read the series, and my memory was that the author based their experience on this character. Um, so don't quote me. Um, but I think because I feel like I remember hearing about because I've heard about this, but it might not be this author. That's sort of, but I was hearing about an author talking about what it's like, you know, losing your sight slowly over time while being an author. Um, and the character talks about wanting to be an author sometimes. So, but again, don't quote me. Because I think I went to look into it and I couldn't really find much and I felt weird looking it up. Um, but either way, I really like how it's written. It's just like, it's just the small things that if you would just like went straight into it and didn't research and didn't know anything, you wouldn't think of these smaller detailed things that are things that actually happen, but the things you wouldn't think about. Like, because I feel like you can sometimes tell when it's just like the big grand dramatic things that happen and it's not like smaller things that like just the little niche things that like just things that I notice with my clients and stuff, things that you wouldn't notice otherwise. So and it's really good because it means people like me who don't know a lot about it get to learn a lot, which is really good. I feel like I feel a somewhat similar niche to Suki Stackhouse books, though I thought the mysteries in the first two were pretty weak. Um, I honestly think they're not very strong either, but I don't read a lot of mystery. Um, so I don't know if they get like much better after where you're up to, but yeah, I've never felt like I feel like when I recommend them, I never say they're good, like great mysteries, but they're fun. I basically don't think about who I think it is because I feel like you can often guess. So I'm like, I'm just not going to think about it, and then I'll be shocked. um, let's do Hannah Cohen. This was just okay. It was like good. This, I kind of want to put it here, but I think it's still more. It was good. Like there's some things I really liked about it, but I think if it had just been a little bit slower, but I feel like they sort of fell for each other really quick. And it didn't really make sense with how the plot was. This was so good. One of my favorites. The Grumpy Sunshine was so good in this one. I loved it. And something I really liked, which is kind of random and not that important, but the kind of more tomboy girl was the one that was bisexual, and the more girly cutesy girl was the one that was like, I'm a lesbian. I'm not attracted to men at all in that way, which I thought was really cool because it's like I feel like normally when you read these books, it's like the tomboy one doesn't have any interest in men, and the girly one is the one that's bi. So I just thought it was really cool. And the one who was lesbian, she was raised by two women. She had two moms, and that was really cute. And I feel like there's a section where I was talking about what it was like coming out to them, and how it was like, I feel like I might be mixing up with another book, but I feel like it was this book where I was like, I was still nervous, but I knew that I was safe, but I was still nervous. Like, yeah, just some really cool different things in this one, and it was just adorable. This one was a DNF, and I'm not going to pick this back up. It was just very insta last. I was like, I don't care. Hannah Collins, her books are kind of boring. It's like her books are very similar to Chelsea Curtis, but for some reason they just like get over the mark for me and are really good. This was not boring though. I was obsessed and loved like every second of this one. I don't really know. This one was just more angsty, I feel like. I feel like in these ones they kind of just get together really quick. Whereas this was like, nah, they took their time. I check away for a sec, coming back to Madame Mercy and give me more on the Better Than Posthumous. Yeah, so good. And the first book's up there too, but I read that before, babe. We're nearly done. I guess we'll get into Leah Stone. Kind of been putting that off. This was the first book I read by them. And it was like good. It was weird. It like started out with this really cool plot, and then it ended really quick, and then it moved on to like boring generic stuff. But the start was like Hunger Games-esque, looking for a magical creature to bond with. I thought that's what the whole book was going to be. I was like, this is awesome. So it's like kind of, you're like out in the wilderness and people are trying to kill each other because they want the better creature to bond with them. So it's like trying to impress these like magical animals and stuff to like bond with you. And it was so cool. And then it ended really quick, and then it was just like a generic boring plot after that. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, me too. Not of highest bidder though. I'll skip over that one. Then I read these, which were they're probably here. It's like cusping. This was a case. This author is a huge case of very generic, boring main character that's just a wet blanket, very much in self-insert. Like, she's the kind of author that writes characters like, you know, my whole life all I do is hunt and you know, supply for my family, and I'm not like those girls that wear dresses. I have to wear pants and trousers, and then she gets in a situation where she's expected to wear dresses, and she's like, I don't want to wear a dress. It's not practical. I want to wear pants. It's like, oh my god, we get it. You're just better than everybody else. I don't know. It's I was not a fan. I've completely. Oh no, I read this. I was gonna say I've forgotten the second book, but I read that before, babe. That one would be here too. I didn't like that one. I think it's because they are taboo romances. So if you are not okay with it, it's just very quickly goes downhill for you. I feel like you've got to be okay with like the taboo element, otherwise it's like no. So it makes sense. This one was no. I finished this yesterday. It was like the same as these, but the end, towards the end, I really, 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 really didn't like. Like, there was a reason that they couldn't be together. And the way it was written at first was kind of like, oh, okay, that's a choice, but like, I get where she's coming from. But then it got written in a way where it was kind of more vague and I didn't really understand. And then just the way it ended, I was like, that's actually really, like, comes across very distasteful. And I think that there are better ways to have handled, like, there's other ways you could have used this element to make them not be able to be together rather than like what was chosen. I just felt like it was very ableist, and I felt very uncomfy. And you know, of all these books that I've read, this is probably the only one that I read to the end. I mean, this one was kind of gross. That was like and these were kind of bad. Like these were the same, but it's just sort of like most of the time I DNF before it gets there. Because this was alright till the end. It was like, I don't know what the author was trying to do with that plot point. If they just kept it the way they wrote it at first, it would make more sense. But then it kind of was like, I don't know. It just felt very ableist. I didn't like it. Yeah. I don't know. Low fantasy. Not like other girls, because the author is entirely choosing the gender politics in their world. They choose to make the other girls so worthy of the protagonist's score. Yeah. And normally I don't mind, like normally I'm like whatever, but I'd read so many at this point that I was like, I'm actually going crazy. I like hate this so much. I want my characters to be kind of interesting. And it's like, I think because it's like, it's written as like a self-insert, which is okay, but I think I'm a turd. I don't think that I'm the kind of girl that would like go out and hunt, and I wouldn't be this cool. I wouldn't be this brave and resilient. I'm like a lazy potato. So I can't even self-insert. I'm like, what is the point of this? I can self-insert, are there any lazy people here? Probably not. I can't really self-insert with anyone here. No, I can self-insert with this lady because she was immature. She was like, I don't want to be an adult and grow up. But it was really cute because this is not cute. Her sister passed away, not cute. But she ended up being like taking in the sister's kids because she was like the guardian. So I was like, her being like, I never wanted to have kids because I'm a kid and I want to be immature. And now I'm responsible for 2 little boys. So I've got to get my shit together. So it was actually like pretty cute. I think she had a romance with like 3 guys. That was really sweet. This one I'm reading at the moment. I think it's going to be just okay. Like it's good. And I'm reading this at the moment. I think it's going to be a 5. So I'm going to put it up here, but I haven't finished it yet. But it's looking like it's going to be there. And as I said, I'm not going to go through these because of something I'm doing with Sasha and I don't want to spoil it. So now we're just left with my fave, E.P. Barley. I'll go in the order that I read them. So I read this one first. This was, I frothed it. Kind of weird at parts, but so different to what I'd read before, and I really liked bits that were weird despite them being weird. I can't self-insert my badass woman who gets shit done because I'm like, I can't self-insert this. I mean, I would like to be like this, but it's not. But maybe that's what self-insert is. You're inserting yourself into someone you wish you could be like. But I feel like self-inserts often, that's why they're very vague and generic, so you can easily see yourself being them. But I'm like, I'm not like this. I'm not this cool. Then I read this one. So good, 5 stars. I love this character. I think the character in this is kind of what these other books are doing, but better. Because she's very, like, she's all of these really good things, but it's explored in a really interesting way because it's sort of like she's all of these things, and it sort of talks about how she sacrifices so much, and then it's kind of that's all who she is that she serves other people and looks after other people. And I like that it's more niche as well because it's like she's a midwife, and so there's so many parts where it's like she doesn't do what's right in terms of what is right. She does what she believes is right as a midwife, and everything she does is often to protect women and children, and I just really like the way that she is written. So while she's this really like amazing person, she's not like judgmental of other people. Like she doesn't compare herself with others to make it's not like I'm such a badass because look at these stupid girls. It's like she's still girly and likes things, and she doesn't just like shove it in our faces how different she is. She's just like, I love being a midwife. I love taking care of women at this point in their life. I love children. It's like a blessing. I love what I do. And again, it sort of explores like how that's all she is in a way, and sort of her learning to have a life outside that. So it's just, her whole journey is so good. I feel like I'm going to cry. I just love her. She is like my fave. She's just so beautiful. There's just so many good scenes. This one was like my least favorite of the series. These are trilogies that take place at like the same time, so you can read them like back to back or just read them separate. And they're about two different sisters, and their stories like combine. And the first sisters was just way superior to the second sisters. This was more dark and like romance heavy and edgy and like smutty. This was more about her character and her journey, and the romance felt secondary. And this was more, I am a badass. Like the first one wasn't so much, but she went through something really horrific in this first book. So this book is basically her like coping with what she's been through. Which I did like that it was like, oh, well, she's like actually traumatized by this thing rather than she just bounces back. And she's traumatized for the rest of the series, and she's really changed because of it. But it was just a bit edgy and dark for me, I think. Especially like herself insert who's like, I'm so unattractive on account of how slender I am. Yeah. Something I really liked about Null and Void, which wasn't for Babe, but I really liked that the main character in that, she was like these women that like are really like badass and do all this stuff. And the way she was described was like very muscular, no curves. It went on about how she's got like a flat ass, barely any tits, and she's like really muscular, like broad shoulders, and kind of like blocky. I was like, this is so cool, because it's like she was written like she's beautiful, she's still beautiful, and it's like that's what a lot of women want to look like when they're very, very, very fit. And you're expected to believe that these like curvy women are like able to keep up in these kind of, you know, crazy conditions. It's like they'd be very muscular, and it's like not realistic to expect women to look so like petite and everything. So I really liked that she was described in that way, of like flat, very muscular, and I really liked it. And she was short as well, which was like, I mean, short comes up a lot, but it was like often like the big muscular women are like really tall, and it's like that stereotype. But it was like she's also short, but she's just like muscular and like not very curvy. But it wasn't like written in a way where it's like, I'm just like so ugly. It was just like, this is what I look like. This is the life I live. Like, I mean, I'm trying to pray. Yeah, there are a lot of books like that, unfortunately, but obviously people like it, so it makes me happier than a skirt of dress that draped around me when I see it. Yeah, yeah. It was one of my favorite things about the book, which is, I mean, I loved that book so much. Thank you so much for buying it for me. I actually really want to reread it. It might be like my favorite, like it might trump all of these books. I don't know. I really liked it, but I really liked these books too. So, oh, Null and Void was so good. Um, this was probably my least favorite in this series, but it was still really good. It was still 5 stars. They went to like this like underground demon world, and she sort of had to play this like more sexy role because they sexualized women in that place. And the way that she like was just looking out for the women there, and like, you're more than just like your body. Like you're made to feel like that's all you are here, but it's not all you are. You're strong, and you don't exist to please men, even though that's what they want you to think. This is so good. I feel like I'm gonna cry. Um, then I read this one. Um, Actually, I think I've done this out of order, but anyway. Obviously, 5 stars. The ending was so good. I think this might be my favorite. It's either this or the first one. I really liked the first one because it had a plot line where she went to the school dressed as like a boy. And I always find those really fun. And she didn't actually have like a romance while she was there. She just like became like friends with like a bunch of the guys, and it was really cute. And then like when they find out who she is later, they're not mad at her. They're like mad at themselves. Like, what the fuck? This was so emotional. So much about like culture and connection to like your family. Like there's so many really good elements. Like there's arranged marriages in this, and like this character's like, okay, you're gonna make me marry a fae, and you're gonna make me do all this. I want to still do it in the traditional clothes that from my mother's side. Like this is what her people would have worn and their traditions when it comes to marriage, and I still want to honor that and do that. That's like all I'm asking for, even though like the rest is basically fake. She doesn't want to do it. It's just like I still want to do this and honor that. Because like when the series starts, the mother has passed away already. And then this one was here. This was not my least favorite, but it was kind of boring because you had already read what happens. So you're just rereading it from different characters' perspectives. And for me, it's like characters I don't like as much. And this was so long because like a bunch of different characters got perspectives. And from memory, the only like couple that had like perspectives that didn't get any kiss or kinky scenes was the queer couple, which I don't know why. Like it kind of made sense to their dynamic, but because it was like the only one that didn't, like it felt like they were more just friends that really liked each other. Like that's how they were written. Like I could tell they loved each other, and I felt like they were two women that were in love. But it was like they only would hug when other characters would like kiss. I'm like, why? And I'm like, okay, well maybe it's a sexuality thing, which is fine, but that wasn't like explored at all. So it's like it just feels like, oh, I put a queer romance in, but I don't want to actually write them doing stuff that would equate to a romantic relationship. So it's like basically the only critique I have of this author so far. I loved everything else, but I was like, this is like not great. And that's it. Because I'm not going to talk about these in case Sasha is here or watches back or whatever. But that's it. I can't get them all in the screen. If I can. Look at it. Any thoughts? Any tea? Are you surprised by anything? I am not surprised with how big Twas Good is. I'm surprised by how many I put in. What the fuck was that? I feel like I was kind of savage. A lot of the books in there that's like too harsh, but it's fine. Yeah, and I'm kind of happy with how much I DNF'd. As I said, there's some I've forgotten. I'm really worried that I've forgotten more books, but I don't know. Anything that people are surprised or shocked about? Have there been any books people want to like that anyone's interested in, or are there any books you want me to talk about a bit more? Maybe you're interested and you want to know more about like the plot. Like it's been over a year. I started reading when we got the list, which was over a year ago. I'm trying to remember. I feel like it was like October or September, like 2 years ago now. So it's nearly been 2 years, like getting close. So I've had a long time, and majority of these are audiobook. I've smashed out a lot of physical books recently, but a lot of these were just audio. Yeah, it's been a long time, but I just focused, like when I was picking what to read, I just really tried to focus on this. Basically, the only time I didn't read for this was if it was for like a readathon and I needed something specific. I also just love reading Christmas books, and I couldn't really find many that had audiobooks for this, so I sort of went off with that. And sometimes I just needed something different, especially because a lot of these are not very diverse. I mean, I love reading queer books, and there wasn't much, you know. There are queer authors going, but a lot of them didn't have like audiobooks. And like Seth Haddon is one that got dropped more recently. And then I was like, well, this very fantasy heavy, so I want to physically read them. So I pre-ordered those, and I've pre-ordered a bunch from Zoe Chance / Marie Cardno, who writes a lot of queer stuff, which I think I pre-ordered a fair bit from them. So thank you. I am pretty proud. I feel like it doesn't look like that much when I put it up like that, but I guess it is. I mean, I ended up reading more than I thought I would, so I'm happy about that. Because I feel like I sort of was like, I feel like I'll lose steam, but I think it's kudos and, you know, speaks a lot about like the authors that I could do this. Because I mean, if they were absolutely terrible, I wouldn't have been able to do this. Like, yeah, there were some duds and like a lot of just like mid. Like when you look at this, like a huge chunk is just like in the middle. But I guess it's like that with all reading. But for me, I often can pick up books that I really like, and I'm just so easy to please that I feel like I do get more 4 stars normally. I think that like this for me, this because I feel like my average on Goodreads is like nearly a 4. So I feel like I normally get more of like this range. So like yeah, on average, I didn't have as much success with this as I would normally have with reading, but yeah. Thank you. I'm impressed that I managed to just like stick to this so much, but I mean, I do like romance a lot. So, like, but yeah, like, there's so many times where I could have read different stuff and I wanted to, but I was like, no, stick with this. But I'm looking forward to reading something different. When I get back, I'm definitely having a break. I still really want to read my books from A Romantic Affair, but I guess when I get back from this, I'm going to be like, I just want to read the books I got. But after this, I'm going to do some reading for my videos because I have my house so I can film again. So I've got some like women's history and history of romance books to read, which sounds so fun, I know. But just to do some research. And then I think I want to crack open a really good like lit fic. And some with audiobooks, I think I want to read some queer middle grade. I was going to say middle grade. YA. I think that's really what I'm feeling. Evie Mitchell's great. I'm getting the Not Safe for Work cover, if not my type. Her Not Safe for Work covers are crazy. I sent them to my friend because I was like, look at these. And she's just like, I'm surprised this is allowed. Like, they're so good. But it's like, you had kids, you would have to like, you'd have to really hide these. The Not My Type one's actually not like, that one's actually not, I'm going to say bad. They're not bad. They're just very, there's a lot of nude stuff on them, you know, whereas like, Not My Type's still covered, but it's still like not safe for work. But yeah, I am pre-ordering that one. I want to read more, but Evie Mitchell doesn't have many audiobooks. So it was just, and like a lot of them don't have paperbacks. So it's like, I really would have loved to have bought more. And I mean, I still might when I get there. But I hadn't read them, so I'm like, I shouldn't. But, you know, whenever I was physically reading, I was prioritizing what I had physically, not Kindle. So, yeah. But Love Flash was nearly better than Post Malone. It was nearly. It just didn't quite get there. I don't really know why. Maybe just because it. But I don't know. Like I think maybe just because they jumped back into it too quick. I think, but like it was short, so like you know they kind of had to. I'm doing a tier ranking of a bunch of books I read for a book event. Very exciting stuff. Yeah, I am. Especially like I've kind of burnt out a bit. Like I really wanted to have. I mean, I might still get a Reluctant Demon finished because it's short, but I probably won't get the I haven't even had to say this out loud. The Crystallis Key. I don't think I will have that read. Also, that is so good. It's by E.P. Barley as well. It's like a YA, and there's a bitchy girl in it, and I'm loving it. It's like 5 teenagers that get like transported to different like it's like a different world, but it's actually like a different kind of dimension, and there's like magic and stuff. It kind of reminds me of the new Jumanji movie where it's like a bunch of teens that don't actually get along at school being forced together, and I actually really like it because when they're really scared, like when these teens are in a really scary situation, they like get along and like look after each other and like bond. And then when they're not even bond, they're just like when you're terrified, you like go to each other for comfort and stuff. And then when they're not, they hate each like they're just rude to each other. But there's like a really bitchy girl, so of course I like it. But yeah, I am looking forward to just reading whatever I want for a while. Not that I couldn't mood read with this because there's so many options, but yeah, like just whatever I want. There's no like control. Yeah, I don't do great with reading. The problem is I can't pick what I want to read and I get overwhelmed and don't read. So it's rare that I ever just mood read specifically, but I'm gonna try it. Aside from the books for videos, but they're like for research, so I don't think I can just only read those. Yeah, I'm excited to go to Babe. I should, I'll get like a screenshot of this and I should figure out what percentage of these books are by authors that aren't coming anymore. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm nervous. Yeah, it's super pretty. I won't get to. I don't think I'll get to show it to you in person though. I think that you'll be gone by the time. Because Babe ends at 4 p.m. on Sunday. But you can look them up online. They're really, really gorgeous covers. But as I said, you would really have to make sure that your kids can't find them if you had kids, because they are very not safe for work. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm mostly stressed about the meetup. Just like, not so much stressed to meet everyone, but just to make sure everything runs smoothly. I'm very stressed. Um, Aaron, if you're still here, did you check the messages? Let me see if you. I haven't seen your reply. Ooh, if you're in Page's Patreon, Page is going live soon. Oh no! I just saw Liv's message that Liv is not coming anymore. Okay. All good. Just reminding you. Liv's not coming anymore though. I'm sad. There's still a few days. Liv might feel better by Saturday. There's still 4 days. Maybe. I can understand not wanting to go to Babe. Oh, technically Babe is no. Yeah. 4 days till the meetup. Anyway. Oh, okay. Okay. um, if anyone wants to come to Babe, I'm assuming you're selling your ticket. Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, is there anything you want me to pick up for you? Please let me know. But I feel like going to a big event like that is very draining. I'm glad you're still coming to the meetup though. It'll be the meetup will be very chill. Like you can just sit down for most of it. Obviously, after when we go around and stuff, that won't be as chill, but the actual meetup in the venue, there'll be chairs and everything. So, yeah, it will be hopefully very relaxing. And we're going to put on like relaxing background music. Oh, well, you're in the meetup chats, but it's the planning. And then I forgot to put this in the itinerary. I should point out that we'll have a quiet area outside. The weather's shitty. I'll see if I can get another area set up. It's like I think we have access to like 3 stories and there's elevators, but I was just going to use the bottom floor. But yeah, like an area for people to go when they're a bit overwhelmed. Yeah, I'll end this here. Thanks for letting me chat about these because there was a lot, and I was like, "There's no way I'm filming a video and editing a video this many books." I thought your ranking is like kind of fun. I've never done one. I think it's like a good way to get your thoughts out, and if you can visualize it, it's really cool for me to see this. But yeah, I'll chat with you all in person on Saturday. But I'll talk to you all in Discord and everything before then. But yeah, I hope you're excited for the meetup. I know people are nervous. I'm nervous about the meetup going well, especially because like Jessica's coming from New Zealand. I'm like, I need to make sure that this is worthwhile. So that's a long way to travel. Love yous. All right. Thanks for listening to me babble. I'll chat with y'all later.